Hello, welcome back to Learn Economia. In this video, we are going to see the current affairs of November 2021. I have already done a video on current affairs of November 2021 part 1. This is the part 2 of November 2021 current affairs. So without wasting time, let's get started. I don't want to waste time anymore. Okay. The first important event which happened in November 2021 was that the India-US to revive trade policy forum after 4 years. So actually, when you look into this trade policy forum, you could see that it as actually a program which was created in July 2005 by US President George Bush, by the then US President George Bush, and also Indian Prime Minister, the then Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. It is run by a representative from both the nations. From India it was Manmohan Singh, and from US it was George Bush. And the program was created with an intention of increasing the bilateral trade as well as investment flow. And coming to the present scenario, we could see that the agreement was to start. There was a initiative to start a new 2-day visit by US Trade Representative Catherine Tai, and there were negotiations by both the countries. We could see that there were struggles with respect to trade packages, as India and US are over different issues like tariff and all. So this became the main aspect of discussion during this trade policy forum. During the 2-day visit, the US Trade Representative raised many issues like market access restrictions, unpredictable regulation, high tariff, restricted digital trade between both the nations, etc. Now, what was the revival step of trade policy forum? We could see that India and US, both of them had agreed to revive their trade policy forum after 4 years. This is what we have already seen, and this would be helping the bilateral trade, and also it will help to deepen the bilateral trade. That is what is very much important here. And if you look into the India-US relation, we could see that US is considered to be India's second largest trading partner, while India is the 9th largest trading partner of US. And the major items that they import from India include information technology-based services, machinery, textiles, gems, diamonds, iron and steel products, chemicals, tea, coffee, edible products, etc. And American items that we import are fertilizers, aircraft, hardware, computer, medical equipment, scrap metal, etc. And US is also India's largest investment partner, which is very important. So thus India-US trade policy forum, which happened after 4 years, had taken up many issues, many aspects, many dimensions, etc., in order to strengthen the relationship between India as well as US. Next important event which happened was World Investor Week 2021. We could see that this week it is actually a week-long global celebration which is promoted by IOSCO. IOSCO stands for International Organization of Security Commissions, and this day is observed to raise awareness on importance of investor education and protection across India. And during this week-long celebration, what is planned is that market infrastructure institutions like stock exchanges, clearing corporations, and depositories, etc., will conduct education activities. If you look into the National Stock Exchange and all, you could see that it took a very active part in the Ring the Bell for the financial literacy program, with an objective of raising awareness on the importance of investor education and protection. And there were many awareness creating programs with respect to securities regulators across the two critical areas, these kinds of critical areas. And NSE has rang a closing bell as a part of the initiative to mark the beginning of this program, World Investor Week program. of 2021. And NSE, it is actually they had a plan to conduct more than 600 events as a part of physical as well as digital medium programs. And the event is also considered to be amplified on digital platform of NSE investor education. The main motive was to create awareness. Okay, the program intention was to promote awareness. The Central Depository Services India is also celebrating this World Investor Week during November 21 to 28. And if you look into the launch of a market stimulation package, you could see that there were mechanisms of trading, settlement, margining, certificate program based on capital market, etc. for many students. And also there was stimulation module created for teaching students or investors. Next event was Australia has signed the submarine deal with the US as well as the UK. What is this deal all about? This deal would provide a help to the Australian government to do an 18-month-old study into submarine procurement. Details of the procurement has not yet decided, but this will offer a vessel based on US or British nuclear-powered attack submarines. If this information is accessed, this could be delivered under the deal, and Australia will be positioned to be reliable and responsible stewards of naval nuclear power technology. This deal will equip the Australian Navy with the nuclear powered submarines, and also we could see that this deal would allow the exchange sensitivity naval nuclear propulsion information between the three countries, that is Australia, US and UK, and it is the first agreement on technology to be publicly signed. Coming to the defense alliance among US, UK as well as Australia, we could see that they have announced the formulation of new defense alliance among them, which is known as AUKUS. And if you look into the details of AUKUS, this is a trilateral security partnership for Indo-Pacific between Australia, UK and US. The major highlight is that US nuclear submarine technology to Australia. That is the major highlight. The grouping of focus on advancing strategic interests in Indo-Pacific region, making it an alliance against assertive actions of China in South China Sea. Under this initiative, Australia will acquire new powered submarines with the help of UK as well as US. Next important event was Personal Data Bill adopted by JPC. Okay, so the key agenda of the meeting was to consider and adopt a draft of a report of JC on Personal Data Protection Bill of 2019. If you look into the details of the bill, you would see that this Personal Data Protection Bill, it was drafted following a Supreme Court ruling in August 2017 that declared the right to privacy as a fundamental right. And the Cabinet has approved this bill in December 2019, and it aimed to provide for protection of privacy of individuals related to their personal data. This bill also protects the rights of the individuals and it also create a framework for organization and technical measures to process data. It also seeks to specify the flow and usage of personal data and create a relationship of trust between entities and persons processing the personal data. The members of JPC have given the deadline of November 24 to submit their dissent, and the bill deals with privacy and security of citizens' personal data. That's it. Next, Delhi Declaration on Afghanistan. If you look into this Delhi Declaration, it is actually a joint declaration emphasized on the need to provide urgent assistance to Afghan people. You might be knowing and the problems which were happened in Afghanistan. I have already discussed all these things in the previous videos where we have discussed Afghan issue. And this joint declaration has expressed deep-rooted concerns over deteriorating socio-economic and humanitarian situation in Afghanistan. And they have noted that there is a need for helping the Afghan people in order to contain this COVID-19 problems. If you look into the commitment made by different countries, you could see that many countries have participated to help Afghan, and these countries have affirmed reaffirmed their firm commitment to tackle terrorism of all forms as well as manifestations. They also seek to combat the terror trafficking, dismantling of terrorist infrastructure, counter radicalism, etc. This is to all these to help the Afghan people. And if you look into the participating countries, this include India, Russia, Iran, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, etc. So, the current political situation in Afghan, radicalization, drug trafficking, etc., all were the main topic of discussion here, and the countries issued a joint statement which is dubbed as a Delhi Declaration of Afghanistan. There were 8 participating nations to discuss the present or the prevailing scenario of Afghanistan with respect to global ramifications, Taliban's takeover, etc. That's it. Next, UK to host G7 Foreign Development Ministers Summit. We could see that if you look into this G7 presidency in 2021, you could see that United Kingdom holds the G7 presidency in 2021, and the G7 foreign ministers they participated in a meeting which was held in Museum of Liverpool, which is located in the waterfront of the city. And Foreign Secretary of UK has welcomed the counterparts from the leading economies like US, Germany, France, Canada, Italy, EU, as well as Japan. The summit was actually planned to be held from December 10 to 12 of 2021, and it will be the second in-person gathering of G7 foreign ministers in 2021. South Asian countries would also be attending the upcoming G7 foreign ministers meeting for this time, and these meetings would highlight the growing Indo-Pacific tilt of US. ASEAN foreign ministers from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand would be attending the summit. Next, Indian Navy commissioned INS Visakhapatnam. First of all, you have to understand INS Visakhapatnam. According to Defense Ministry, this is a 163-meter long and 17-meter breadth navy, and it has a displacement of 7,400 tons. The ship could be regarded as one of the significant potent warship which could be constructed in India, and it is propelled by 4 powerful gas turbines in a combined gas configuration. The warship is actually capable of achieving speeds of 30 knots. And it is named after the historic coast of Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. On the occasion of this, we could see that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he has noted that India's efforts towards defense modernization is on full swing, and he told that he is very proud to become Atmanirbhar in the defense sector. I mean, he is proud in the sense that he is proud when India is becoming Atmanirbhar with reference to defense sector. Next is Delhi to launch anti-open burning campaign. This campaign is with respect to anti-open burning campaign. You have to understand that it's a campaign that will run for a month, which would start from November 11, and it seeks to curb instances of open burning and air pollution in Delhi. We know how to what extent Delhi is polluted, right? How far Delhi is polluted, especially the smoke, fog, etc. kind of things mixed with pollutants, causing health problems to Delhi citizens. Okay, coming to the implementing agency, we could see that it is a joint initiative of 10 different departments, which would include DDA, DPCC, Revenue Department, Cantonment Board, Development Department, DSIIDC, and INF Department, North DMC, East DMC, South DMC department. All these department would be assembling their teams to implement the campaign. Out of the 550 teams, 304 teams will work during day, while the others will patrol during night. All the departments are also free to formulate their own anti-death cells. Coming to Delhi app, Green Delhi app, this will be available for people of Delhi to report and address cases of open burning to take immediate action. Coming to the graded response action plan, we could see that this would be helping to identify the sources of pollution. All public transport would be promoted in line with this. I mean, all the public transport would follow this. Under the plan, open fires would be banned in Delhi, and the Delhi government has recently banned 92 construction sites for violating test norms. This has launched as the air quality index of Delhi has turned hazardous after Diwali. That's it. Next, Indira Gandhi Peace Prize of 2021. The Indira Gandhi Peace Prize. This is actually an annual prestigious award and named after the former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, which is conferred every year since 1968 by the Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust. It would comprise of a monetary award of 25 lakh and a citation. This recognizes create efforts of individuals or organizations which work for international economic order or promoting international peace or development or scientific discoveries for enlarging scope of freedom, humanity, etc. And this prize is for peace, disarmament and development for 2021. It is awarded to uh, Pratham NGO for their pioneering work for more than a quarter century in ensuring every child has access to good quality education. They have also made activities in the arena of innovative use of digital technology to deliver education. They have gone for regular evaluation of quality education, and also they have made timely responses in making children to learn amid COVID-19 situation. Coming to Pratham NGO, you can see that it's an NGO where there is innovative training learning organization. This is created to improve education quality in India. This is one of the largest non-governmental organization in India, and this focus on high quality, low cost, replicable interventions for addressing the gaps in the education system. Okay, and that's it. Coming to the next important event, we could see that MP new cow welfare measures. So this measure, if you look into the background, you will see that it was actually a decision which was taken in a meeting of cow Samvardhan board recently in Bhopal after the revenue of 2024 cow protection from Manti board declined because of the implementation of new farm laws and efforts to get donations evoke lukewarm response from people. Here, the budget is at that it actually requires 160 rupees to feed 2.6 lakh cows across 1,300 cow shelters. However, budget has provided 60 crore. Actually, they need 160 crore rupees, and the budget already provided 60 crore rupees. Thus, every day expenditure per cow is 20 crore per cow is rupees 20 as against rupees 6 per day. Okay, the government has decided that a 610 plan tax plan would be prepared to mop up funds for cow fodder. As it is said, they have planned to impose a surcharge on services provided by local bodies to uh, generate rupees 100 crore for meeting expenses of running cow shelters in Madhya Pradesh. The CM has also directed officials to build gaushalas, to develop gaushalas, to restart gausadans, and to develop sanctuaries. Okay, that's it. Now, Gaifan 11.3, China launches a new satellite. Taiwan Satellite Launch Center, we have to understand that it's located in the province, northern province of Shanxi. Why we have seen this launching center is that this is a series, Gaofen is a series of high resolution Earth imaging satellite of China. This is used for state-sponsored program China High Resolution Earth Observation System. The first Gaofen series satellite was known as Gaofen 1, which is launched in 2013. And this is an observation satellite which is operated by CNSA and separated in the Sun synchronous orbit very successfully. So we have to understand that it entered the planet orbit very successfully. The satellite was launched by Long March 4B rocket, and this coming to the Long March 4B rocket, we could see that this is a satellite which is known as Shangzheng 4B, CZ 4B, and LM 4B. It is an expendable orbital launch vehicle of China, and the satellite was launched from Launch Complex of Taiwan Satellite Launch Center. The satellite was first launched in 1999. It was later launched in 2007, and it only failed. Its only failed satellite was CBER-3, which launched in 2013. Next, Cryptocarya mutuvarina Verna, a new tree species named after a tribe. Okay, and if you look into this variety, you could see that the species of tree belongs to genus Cryptocarya. Carya, yes. The tree grows to a top of around 10 to 15 meters. This characterized by not too broad leaves. And if you look into the details of Mutuvar tribal community, they are people who were loyal subjects to Madurai dynasty, and when the dynasty was deposed, surviving royal members migrated to Travancore in Kerala, and they carried idols of Madurai Meenakshi, deity of rural royal family while migrating. So, goddess Madurai Meenakshi's idol was something very precious to them, and the word Muduvar is used to denote the community in Tamil Nadu, and Muduvan people are ancient tribes of this land, and this community is independent and reluctant to interact with others. They grow ragi, lemongrass, cardamom, etc. This tribal community plays a very significant role in conserving forests. For the first time, any plant species has been named after a tribal community in the state. That's it. Now, Amazon deforestation reaches 15 years high. Coming to the Amazon rainforest detail, the majority of the forest here, actually 60% is in Brazil, which is followed by Peru, where there is 13%, and Cambodia 10%. This region or territories would include 9 nations, and out of this area, main part is covered by rainforest. The basin is an area, it has an area of a lot of area is covered here, covered as the basin. And Amazon rainforest is considered to be moist broadleaf tropical rainforest, which is located in Amazon biome. It covers most of the Amazon basin in South America. As per data, Brazilian Amazon lost 30,235 square kilometers of rainforest between August 2020 and July 2021, and there was a jump of 22% as compared to year 2020. Next, National Achievement Survey. We have to understand that it was conducted. I mean, in the 2021, it is set to cover entire spectrum of schools, including government schools of central government as well as state government, aided schools, private schools across India. It is expected that NAS 2021 will cover around 1.23 lakh schools and 38 lakh students across 733 districts of 38 states and union territories. So the next NAS would be held in 2021, November 12, 2021. That is what that is what is done now. NAS 2021 is conducted in language mathematics, conducted based on language mathematics and EVS classes. Students in class 3rd and 5, and in with respect to students of class 8, language mathematics and science and social science were there, and in for students of class 10, language mathematics science social science as well as English were there. So it is actually it was conducted in 22 mediums of instruction like Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, English, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, Manipuri, Urdu, Marathi, Bodo, Mizo, Odia, Punjabi, Telugu, Garo, Kasi, Nepali, Kongini, Lepcha and Budia. Next is NCRA astronomers discover main sequence radio pulse emitters. A group of scientists, they have discovered the rare class of radiostats which are hotter than sun. They have usually strong magnetic fields and are much stronger settler wind. As a result, uh, the stars would emit bright radio pulses like a lighthouse. Team had also discovered three more similar stars in the Jane Metri wave of radio telescope. The first MRP was discovered in 2000. And this was discovered as a result of high sensitivity of GMRT. Next, India-Israel to boost defense cooperation. The meeting, this was actually a meeting, and the meeting was co-chaired by Defense Secretary of India, Ajay Kumar, and Director General of Ministry of Defense in Israel, Majen Amir Esher, and they reviewed the progress of military-to-military engagement, including industry cooperation as well as other exercises. Coming to the India-Israel Joint Working Group, we could see that bilateral defense cooperation on this was agreed to form a task force for formulating a comprehensive 10-year roadmap in order to identify the new areas of cooperation. And this working group is an apex body between Ministry of Defense of both the countries. It comprehensively review and guide all aspects of bilateral defense cooperation. Sub-working group on defense industry cooperation. The countries also decided to establish a self-working group on defense industry cooperation. For this purpose, they signed teams of reference. Creation of SWG will provide for new efficient utilization of bilateral resource sharing of industry capabilities and effective flow of technology. Coming to India-Israeli defense cooperation, we could see that uh, bilateral relationship between India and Israel are driven by the respective national interests, like India's goals for military modernization, Israel's advantage in commercializing its arms and industry. Defense cooperation between both the countries has expanded to include sectors like counterterrorism, space and cyber security, and intelligence sharing in 2000. Sharing. And in 2017, India was the largest arms customer of Israel. Tamil Nadu sets up a FinTech governing council. Uh, Coming to the members of the council, there would be IT Secretary Neeraj Mittal, Industry Secretary S. Krishnan, MSME Secretary Arun Roy, and Finance Secretary M. Murugananda. Then there would be CEO of FinLoop and Director Sanjay Tyagi. So this FinTech City, if you look into that, you could see that's an emerging sector which is being promoted by Tamil Nadu government very strongly. The background says that there was an announcement to set up the council which was made in the backdrop of launch of FinTech policy at Investment Conclave. Investment Conclave is scheduled to be held in Coimbatore. It is planned that it would be presided over by Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Coming to the FinTech City, we could see that this is an emerging sector which is being promoted by Tamil Nadu government. The city will also supplement efforts of FindBlue, which is a FindX Center of Excellence. Then it would identify, funds, nurture, and scales FindX startup. Next, Odisha School Transformation Program. We have to understand that the reform agenda of this was to that the government has become an active on the reform agenda. It recently started Adarsh Vidyalaya Model School Initiative. Under this, high schools would provide a unique opportunity to meritorious students of rural Odisha to avail all facilities provided in expensive private schools. These schools will offer 2,500 25,000 students every year for school final examination. The schools have adopted CBSE syllabus and English as a medium of instruction. Schools will have infrastructure facilities similar to standard available in Kendriya Vidyalaya. If you ask the question, why are these schools inaugurated, you could see that the school's transformation program was launched with the objective of creating an atmosphere to bring competitive attitude among students. So this is for excellence in studies, and this program also seek to inculcate qualities like excellence in music, sports, studies, as well as ever expanding fields of technology. And in this case of high schools in Odisha, Odisha had a very few high schools by the turn of 20th century. And in 1851, Silla School at Cuttack started in 1851, and Silla schools in Puri was established in 1853. Silla schools in Sambalpur, Silla started in 1858. So that's it. Japan Prime Minister unveils $490 billion stimulus package. So Japanese government would compile an extra budget by the end of 2021 to fund the stimulus program in order to deliver necessary aid to the public. And coming to the size of the spending plan, you could see that it was greater than 30 to 40 trillion yen, which is estimated by the markets because of huge payouts to the household service firm which were hit by COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, government will compile an extra budget of around 32 trillion yen to fund the cost, and it would comprise of spending for defense in the backdrop of China's growing economic military power. The stimulus backs the global trend in withdrawing crisis mode stimulus measures, which place greater strain on Japan already tattered finances. The package would comprise enough content and scale for delivering a sense of security and hope to the people. It would also include aid for aiding business, politicians, etc. Coming to why this Japan has lagged and all, we could see that Japan has lagged other economies in getting out of pandemic-induced economic crisis, and this forced policymakers to maintain enormous fiscal and monetary support, even though the other nations introduced crisis like policies. The plan would comprise of payments to people which is who are aged 18 years or younger. Next, Indian Police Foundation survey on citizens' perception. Uh, Here we have to understand what Indian Police Foundation is. First of all, it is a multidisciplinary think tank working for police reform and improvement of policing through capacity building and research as well as policy advocacy. This is driven by a coalition of progressive police professionals who believe that it is possible to transform the police positively by means of collective action of police, citizens, state governments, central governments, as well as political leadership. And this was inaugurated at New Delhi by Sri Rajnath Singh on October 21, 2050. If you look into the cell survey, you will see that it is conducted by IPF and uh, uh, This is mainly to assess the citizens' perception and gauge impact of a smart policing initiative by Prime Minister Modi, which was announced in 2014 at a conference in Guwahati. Now, states like Bihar, UP, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Punjab, Nagaland, etc. scored least on the smart policing list. Bihar has ranked last with respect to responsible policing, public trust in policing, integrity, corruption-free service, etc. Delhi police was ranked 5th position in technology adoption and 10th spot for smart policing. Delhi police was ranked for sensitivity towards public, good behavior, accessibility, accountability, and strict conduct. Next, longest partial lunar eclipse for the century. It is going to be the second lunar eclipse of 2021 and will be similar to the last one. And it is going to be the longest lunar eclipse. That is what is predicted. Uh, and the eclipse would be lasting for about 3 hours, 28 minutes, and 23 seconds. 4% of the moon's diameter would be immersed in the dark uh, upper shadow of Earth at maximum eclipse. Why this is very important is that in India, a small part of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam will observe this partial eclipse. End part of eclipse will be visible from Bihar, UP, and Jharkhand, and the partial lunar eclipse will be visible from East Asia, Australia, North America, South America, and Pacific region. Next, Vivek Johri appointed as CPIC chairman. First of all, we have to understand who Vivek Oberoi is. He is currently working as a member of CPIC. As a 1985 batch Indian Revenue Service officer, appointed as the approved appointment was approved by the appointment committee of cabinet, and he was appointed as a tenure of former chairman Ajit Kumar ends in the month of November 21. What is CBSE? It's a national nodal agency to administer GST, custom duty, excise duty, service tax, narcotics, etc. in India. And this was established by the British Governor General of India in 1855 for administering custom laws and for collecting import duties or land revenue. It is considered to be one of the oldest government departments in India. This is staffed by ministerial staff who are selected from Staff Selection Commission, and IRS officers would also be there and who are selected through a civil service examination, and they start their careers as assistant commissioners or directors in the field. After completing 20 to 25 years, they would rise to the post of chief commissioners. Next, Science and Technology Ministry inaugurates TechNev at 75. What is TechNev at 75? It's a long year celebration highlighting the impact of science and technology innovation in empowering the community to create equitable, inclusive economic growth. This 17 5-hour program include experience sharing of beneficiaries, societal change makers conclave, community changers leaders, roundtable discussion, etc. And also there would be a compilation of 75 impactful stories and progress of India towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. On this occasion, Union Minister Jitendra Singh interacted with successful startups. The minister also informed that the central government will set up 30 science technology innovation based hubs across the country. That is specifically for scheduled tribes by the end of 2022, and out of 75 proposed STI hubs, 20 will have already been set up by the Department of Science and Technology, which would extend benefit to 20,000 people directly by means of several interventions spreading across farm, non-farm, as well as other allied activity. These STI hubs will help in promoting scientific talent among tribal communities as well as overall socio-economic development. Now, Kerala tourism launches street projects. What this project is all about, it will help visitors to experience the diversity of offerings at many places. First of all, the project would be implemented in the places like responsible tourism mission is working, and is inspired by slogan of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. First of all, you have to understand what STREET is. It is an acronym for Sustainable, Tangible, Responsible, Experimental, Ethnic Tourism Hubs. And under this project, Green Street, Village Life Experience, Street Cultural Street, Experiential Tourism Street, Water Street, Acro Tourism Street, Art Streets, etc. The aim was to present unique identity of state of Kerala before travelers. It offers huge potential for growth in tourism sector and would bring a significant changes. Project will foster mutually beneficial organic relationship among tourism development and ordinary lives of people in the state of Kerala. And the project would be implemented in the public-private partnership mode, and it will involve local bodies and residentials of state selected location stakeholders. Next, Kashi Utsav being held in Varanasi. It's very important. So this Rudraksh International Cooperation and Convention Center in Varanasi, that is the organizing body of this. This Ulsa would celebrate centuries old luminaries like Goswami Tulsidas, Saint Raisdas, Saint Kapir, Munshi Premchand, etc. And the event is being organized with the support of UP state government and Varanasi administration as a part of Adika Amrit Mahotsav. Okay, and the theme of this year was Kashi Hastaksh, Hasta Hastakshar, Kabir Raidas ki Bani or Nirgun Kashi, and Kavita or Khani, Kashi ki Zubani. Next, Delhi Arts Kartarpur Sahib Velankanni to pilgrimage scheme. It's very important. The background says that this Tirtha Yatra Yojana could be held in 2020 and 21 during COVID pandemic, and this was launched by Delhi government, and this scheme offers free travel packages to senior citizens of Delhi to 5 religious circuits. This scheme could be availed by 1,100 senior citizens from every constituency in Delhi at one go, and under this scheme is Delhi residents aged 60 years above or above to take free pilgrimage among this his or his spouse, and employers of local, state and central government or autonomous bodies are not eligible for this scheme. And since the launch of the beneficiary, since its launch, okay, and if you look into this, not to understand whether there is any kind of income criterion and all, you could see that there is no income criterion to avail this scheme. However, preference will be given to people belonging to economically weaker sections. Okay, the Delhi government also decided to add 2 more routes apart from the existing 13 yatra routes, and the devotees will travel from Delhi Velankanni to Delhi route in AC 3-tier trains, while for Karaktapur Sahib they will go in air-conditioned buses. Food Security Museum inaugurated at Tanjavur, Tamil Nadu. The Food Security Museum, it is actually established by the Food Corporation of India in Tanjavur. Coming to this museum, you could see that it would showcase the evolution of man from nomadic hunter groups into settled agriculture producers, marking the beginning of civilization. It also showcases several ancient global indigenous grain storage methods, challenges in storage, as well as food grain production scenarios in the world as well as in India. It also digitally displays informative content regarding journey of FCI, its present operations, as well as journey of food grain from farm to plate through FCI. Sorry. The Food Security Museum has been co-developed by the Food Corporation of India and Visvesvaraya Institute of Technology. It was established in Tanjavur, which is the birthplace of FCI. The first office of FCI was inaugurated there on January 14, 1965. Coming to the next event, WHO SARS-CoV-2 variant B11529, a variant of concern. A new variant was discovered. Newly detected variant has large number of mutations. Some of the mutations are concerning. This variant could be detected using SARS-CoV-2 PCR diagnostic as of now. So we could see that it has a very unusual constellation of mutations, that is 32 in the spike of protein alone. This is known as this variation is named as Omicron, and this is first detected in Botswana region of South Africa on November 24. South Africa is witnessing sharp increase in COVID-19 infection coinciding with the detection of Omicron variant. The first non-confirmed Omicron infection was a specimen collected on November 9. The technical advisory group of SARS-CoV-19, they periodically monitored and evaluated this virus, and TAGVE is an independent group of experts. Coming to this variant, we can see that it is characterized by 30 amino acid changes, 3 small deletions and 1 small insertion in spike protein as compared to the original virus. Out of 30, 15 are located in the receptor binding domain. Rising concerns over the new variant in South Africa, European Union, Canada, US, Saudi Arabia, etc. have imposed some travel-related restrictions or ban and have suspended flights from South Africa. Next, Raksha Samprapan Parv. This is to be held in Jhansi. This is organized by UP government to mark the occasion of Ministry of Defence to delegate several schemes to the nations. So this event is organized by the Defence Ministry in association with the government of UP. On November 19, the program was witnessed the participation from Defence Minister, Minister of State for Defence, Governor of UP, and also CM of UP. The new initiatives was led setting up a 100 science school, launch of NCC Alumni Association, launch of national program of simulation training for NCC cadets and NCC border and coastal program. Next, celebration of first Audit Divas. The event would be held in CAG office premises. On the occasion, PM will unveil the statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. What is this all about? The Audit Divas all about? The first Audit Divas would be celebrated to mark the historic origins of institutions of CAG and contributions made by it to the governance, transparency and accountability. CAG, we know that the Controller and Auditor General, he is the constitutional authority in India. It is established in accordance with Article 148 of the Constitution of India. He is empowered to audit all receipts and expenditure of central as well as state government. CAG is the statutory auditor of government on corporations, and it conducts supplementary audit of government companies where government is having an equity share of 51%. Reports of CAG are laid before parliament or legislature, and they are being taken up for discussion by public accounts committee. And coming to the order of precedence, the CAG has been ranked at the 9th place in the order of precedence. It enjoys the same status of judge of Supreme Court. Currently, the former Lieutenant Governor of not UP, UT, that means Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Murmu, he is serving as a CAG of India. He is a 14th CAG of India, and his tenure has ended by August 2020. Kaiser-e-Hind Arunachal State Butterfly, another important event. Presently, okay. Okay, that we will discuss recent data from ICRA on subtle burning incidents. This report was published by when Delhi and its adjoining states were reeling from thick blanket of smog and deadly fumes. As a result of this, the government has shut its schools, take gone for emergency measures to control the pollution. The Supreme Court also noted that it has become a trend to blame farmers and their practice of creating pollution as a result of burning. The report has found that stubble burning incidents in the year 2021 are considerably lower in most of the state. In Haryana, it has increased by 48.5% between September 15 and November 13. And in Punjab, the cumulative number of such incidents is 21 per lesser percent lesser as compared to. However, since October 13, Punjab witnessed a very high jump in burning incidents. Coming to the Indian Agriculture Research Institute, we could see that it is known as PUSA Institute. It is a National Institute for Agriculture Research, Education and Extension in India. The institute is originally known as PUSA because okay, we have to understand the next event. I didn't go to the details of that because I have covered a lot of news in this events in this video. I haven't go to the details, but I think I am telling requesting you to go to the details. And just by pausing the slide, you will be able to see the details. Okay, so please do that. So these trains, IRCTC starting certificates in trains. So it's very important, a very recent development which happened. This scheme will be launched along IRCTC on November 15, 2021. This council, Satwik Council, will also release a handbook on vegetarian-friendly diet in collaboration with IRTC. This diet will be that it will be followed in kitchens under the scheme. This IRCTC-based kitchens, budget hotels, executive lounges, etc., are certified in order to ensure vegetarian-friendly travel. Sati Council of India is the first vegetarian food safety and regulatory compliance of the world for vegetarian and allied adherents. It's set up with an ideology to take initiative and create a food safety environment for vegetarian consumers of India. Um, this thing is an Indian public sector undertaking to provide ticketing, tourism, and catering services for Indian Railways, and this was already earlier wholly owned by the government, operated under the parent and head of Railway Ministry. However, it has been listed on National Stock Exchange since 2019, and the government holds majority of ownership. Norovirus confirmed in Wayanad, Kerala. This is an animal-borne disease transmitted through contaminated water and food. Following the confirmation of the case, Health Minister Veena George issued guidelines and urged people to be vigilant of the same. People were directed to intensify preventive activities and to spread awareness regarding the disease. And this are a group of virus causing gastrointestinal illness. The virus would cause inflammation in lining of the stomach and intestines. Severe problems will be there, and this virus does not significantly affect healthy people. However, it can seriously affect elderly, young children, people with other problems, comorbidities, etc. And if these kinds of diseases are spread, uh, it will lead to many problems. So symptoms include common symptoms like pain, fever, headache, body aches, etc. According to guidelines, infected people should rest at home, drink ORS solution. And then people who are interacting with animals have been advised to pay some special attention. Karnataka pneumococcal conjugate vaccine program has been launched, and this has been done as a part of World Pneumonia Day, which is observed on 12th of November. And this effectiveness of this PCV is that it is safe, effective measure to prevent this kinds of diseases, reduces the incidence of pneumonia and other serious bacterial-based infections and diseases. If you're going for UIP vaccination program, which was launched in 1985, you could see that it is a part of Child Survival and Safe Motherhood program. This program is currently one of the focus areas of the National Rural Health Mission. Next, UN on Africa's Sahel crisis. First of all, you have to understand what this Sahel is. Sahel is located between Sahara in the north and Sudanian savanna in the south. It is having a semi-arid climate that stretches across south central latitudes of northern Africa in between Atlantic Ocean and Red Sea. Sahel Force means G5 Sahel Force was set up by 5 African nations, namely Chad, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Mauritania. So this was set up in 2017 to fight to deal with terrorism. This so as per the chief, millions of people were displaced. Children were not able to go to school. Primary health care was problematic. All these things happened. So all these things have to be solved. That is the main intention of the program. It is with that intention it was taken. I mean, next, where is Sila Tunnel? Sila Tunnel constructed. The tunnel is actually constructed at 3,000 meters uh, to provide all-weather connectivity between Guwahati in Assam and Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh. The tunnel would be connected with NH13 by a new 12.4 meter road. So this cuts through the Sila Charbala Ridge, separating Tangwan district from West Kameng district. The tunnel would also ensure better movement of troops and weaponry to different locations along the line of actual control. So that is a very important development which has happened in November 2021. RBI governor on cryptocurrency, a very important development. First of all, you have to understand what cryptocurrency is. It is actually a collection of binary data which work as a medium of exchange. In the system, individual would coin ownership records are stored in ledger, which is a computerized database. Here, cryptocurrency does not exist in physical form. That is the very important advantage. It is not issued by a centralized authority. That's a disadvantage of this currency. These are decentralized control as opposed to central bank digital currency. Bitcoin, it was first decentralized currency, then it was considered to be an open source software in 2009. Craze has increased in India after Supreme Court turned down RBI's order of banning cryptocurrency trading in India. Union government has also not yet enacted any law on cryptocurrencies, and it is currently consulting with many experts. After several rounds of discussion, the government largely want to limit the cryptocurrency trading in India. E-Amrit portal, things to know. This is launched with an aim of creating awareness regarding electronic mobility in India. It has been developed as a one-stop site containing all information regarding adoption of electric vehicles. So the web portal could be accessed using different devices like PC, mobile screen, readers, tablet, etc. This portal will accelerate initiative for the government to raise awareness on electronic vehicles. It will sensitize people on benefits adopting electronic vehicles, and it acts as an accelerator of change and influence millions of users. This stands for Accelerated E-Mobility Revolution for India's Transportation. It was developed by Niti Aayog Association with the UK government as a part of India-UK Joint Roadmap 2030. And the launch of this portal was attended by Niti Aayog advisors Jogdeep Singha and also climate action champion Niljit Topping. Incentives approved for sugarcane, cotton, jute farmers. So we could see that the CCEA approved reservation norms for mandatory jute in packaging. In the year 2020, such reservation consumed two-thirds of the total raw jute cotton. Cotton Corporation of India Limited, that is CCI, and it is engaged in diverse activities related to trade, procurement, export of cotton, etc. And it is approved by committed price support of rupees 17,408.85 crore for Cotton Corporation of India. Price support will be provided for to deal with the reimbursement for losses, etc. Ethanol blending program reduce the dependence of crude oil imports. That is very important. And all oil marketing companies purchase ethanol from distilleries, sugar mill, etc. CCA has increased the rate of ethanol extracted from CCA's molasses. Next, rice blast disease in Wayanad. This illness is caused by fungus Oryzae, and it is a non-systemic in motion, and this is actually probably resulted in elevated areas in elevated pores in air, and relative humidity of more than 93% of rainfall of 5 millimeter per day are favorable predisposing elements to this tertiary stage of crop for blast illness. Rice blast fungus is also known as rice rotten neck, blast of rice, rice sealing, blight, etc. And the disease caused by fungus is blast disease or blight disease. Manuvara rice is a brand new rice selection that Kerala Agriculture College has launched across more than 250 acres in Wayanad, and this rice cultivated in many areas, and we could see that even this rice has been problematic with respect to the virus. So that's all for today. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and thank you for watching. You can be a part of my Telegram group and Telegram channel to discuss your doubts. Thank you. I'll be providing the links of both my Telegram group and Telegram channel in the description.